Hello everyone, Vincent Teo from HDTV Test here. You have asked for it, now you're getting it. So I'm standing beside the 77-inch LG C9 OLED television, which is the company's new, most affordable OLED TV with the Alpha 9 second generation processor, and I'm going to talk you through some of the improvements the company has made to provide an upgrade over last year's immensely successful C8 series. So I will be going through the user menu at some point to point out certain things or certain features that LG Electronics have actually added on the C9. But before going into that, you will see that this design, the 77-inch C9, is exactly the same as last year's 77-inch C8 with a curved stand. But I've been informed that the 55-inch and also the 65-inch C9 will be using the Alpine stand that was found on 2017's C7 and also maybe on certain models of the B8 last year. Now, I'm going to just talk through some features that LG has added. I think the headline feature is definitely HDMI 2.1 that provides a full 48 gigabits per second bandwidth to support 8K resolution at 60 Hz, to support 4K resolution at 120 Hz, and also other features such as enhanced ARC or eARC and ALLM or auto low latency mode, and also the variable refresh rate or VRR for gamers of you out there who would like to play games without any stutter or any tearing. Now, on the picture quality front, what I'm going to do is to go into the user menu and show you some improvements that LG has brought to the 2019 OLED series. And if I long press the menu button, you can see that we are currently playing a Dolby Vision piece of content in Cinema Home mode. And I'm going to go in here, and in the first instance, I want to actually show you that listening to feedback, LG has separated the noise reduction control and also the smooth gradation control to apply a decontouring filter. And if you remember last year on the 2018 LG OLED models, the decontouring filter was incorporated into the noise reduction control, which will also cause some fine detail to be lost if you actually engage it. But listening to feedback, again, I have to salute the engineers for actively taking aboard all the feedback by all the reviewers and users alike to try and separate the decontouring filter into smooth gradation and also the noise reduction feature into impact noise reduction, so that users can choose which feature to enable for the content that they watch. But again, I'll need to probably do more testing when I receive a review sample to check out the smooth gradation feature. But that's upgrade number 2. Upgrade number 1 being HDMI 2.1. Upgrade number 2 of the 2019 OLED model over the 2018 one. And while this is in HDR, I want to actually point out another thing. While I was actually just browsing through the user menu, I think that under the picture options menu, there is this AI brightness which has something to do with light sensor, and basically what it does is to try and compensate for ambient light for HDR content. So there is another feature that I need to show you, but I have to go to the most accurate cinema picture mode. So if we go to the cinema picture mode, if we go into expert controls, at the very bottom, you can see that there's a new peak brightness option. And what this option does is to control the white subpixel boosting that is necessary for HDR on WRGB OLED televisions. And previously, this option was only found in the service menu. I think when I was discussing the HDR luminance fluctuation issue, again, many thanks to LG for fixing it, we discussed about HDR module in the service menu that actually controls the white subpixel boosting. But for 2019 sets, LG Electronics has decided to put this control in the hands of users like yourself, and you can control the intensity of the white subpixel boosting. High is obviously maximum, allowing you to reach the highest peak brightness that this TV is capable of. But if you wish to retain more color saturation at higher brightness but sacrifice a bit of peak brightness, then you can choose the low or medium option, or even turn off white subpixel boosting altogether, and you can see the picture changing on screen. But high is generally accepted to be the most accurate setting to adhere to the PQ-EOTF transfer function. So that is peak brightness, and then I'm going to try and switch away from HDR mode, and I think the easiest way is to try and stop this piece of content. Right, so now we are in SDR mode, and what I wanted to show you is another improvement that LG Electronics has implemented on the 2019 OLED TVs, including on this 77-inch C9. Now I'm going to try and switch to game mode, right? Remember, on previous LG OLED televisions, in fact all LG televisions, in game mode, in SDR, the color gamut has always been locked to white, but new on 2019 models, the color gamut can now be selected to auto, which is the most accurate option. Not only that, all the calibration controls are now available in game mode. As you can see here, if I go into expert controls, you can see a full white balance control of 2 points, and also new for 2019, LG Electronics has added a 10-point and also a 22-point control, and I'll go into 22-point to show you what LG is actually doing. So you can obviously control each 5% interval, but at the lower end, because of near black gamma manipulation that is necessary to get a better out of black rendition, they have added a 2.5, a 5 IRE, and also a 7.5 IRE control. Actually, IRE is in the analog world, so in the digital world we call it 7.5% video stimulus. But this is another refinement that LG has put on the 2019 OLED televisions. And what else can I actually show you? So while in game mode, I might as well tell you another feature that is included within the HDMI 2.1 spec, which is the auto low latency mode, where the TV will automatically switch into game mode upon playback of a game. Let's say if you're using the Xbox One X, or I don't know whether the Sony PS4 Pro supports this feature as well. But under additional settings, you can see that instant game response that triggers the auto game mode or auto low latency mode. So the last thing I want to show you is the black frame insertion. I think LG is marketing this as OLED Motion Pro over last year's television in its press release. And if we go to user, you can see that you can either turn it off, or you can have a low level or medium level or high level, 3 levels of intensity, rather than just the on-off toggle that was found on 2018 sets. And I think the high is probably very similar to last year's on implementation, because it looked quite flickery to me. But if you actually want to turn the intensity down, then the flicker will reduce, and the brightness drop is not that much, because I think what LG is actually doing is to reduce the black frame insertion interval within every frame. I think you get 3 levels of control here, low, medium and high, and it depends on how sensitive you are to flicker and whether peak brightness is important to you to decide which level you want to actually go for. And again, I need to actually physically run a test disk on this set to see what motion resolution is being achieved at each level. So let's say OLEDs usually have a ceiling of around 650 lines when you turn on black frame insertion. I don't know whether if you drop it to low or medium, it will lower the motion resolution slightly, but at least it's still going to be slightly better than the segment and hole baseline of 300 lines. So those are the upgrades found on the LG 2019 sets over the 2018 ones, and I think that there are so many new features here for me to get into, for any video enthusiast in fact to get into, and I will need to film another video on another feature that LG has actually implemented in partnership with Portrait Displays. And I think this video is joke-free, so I know some of you expect me to crack some joke every single time, but the pressure is getting too much now, and I'm terribly jet-lagged in Las Vegas, and so on this occasion I don't think I can crack a joke. I would actually try to ask Alexa to tell me a joke here, but there's no Wi-Fi. So if you found this video useful, please click the like button and subscribe to the HDTV YouTube channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.